all-new Dr. Phil, accused of faking pregnancies. What happened after she stormed off stage?
She allegedly faked her own death.
Did she turn on her former friend?
You say your daughter received a message that said you will pay for what your mom did.
Plus,
I was a victim of sextortion.
she sent over 1,000 explicit pictures of herself.
And you kept taking and seeing the pictures. Why? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Well. Thank you. You guys may remember this classic show moment when our guest, Amy, stormed off the stage, tossed her shoes down the hall, and berated my producer backstage. Now, she was here with her former friend, Courtney, who claimed Amy was a pathological liar who fabricated multiple pregnancies and babies' subsequent deaths. Now, Courtney claims Amy even went as far as sending photos of stillborn twins to one of the supposed fathers-to-be.
Amy is a serial con artist. Amy's first pregnancy came after having just one date with her boyfriend. I saw many ultrasounds that Amy had sent me, but there was never any personal information to indicate that they were Amy's. 19 weeks into her pregnancy, she claimed to have had a miscarriage. Everyone was devastated. Amy's boyfriend and I never saw a single shred of physical evidence that the baby did pass away.
Nothing registered with you in the beginning.
No, everything seemed pretty normal.
So you were in the business
Yes.
of ultrasounds, right?
Yes.
Did you offer to do this with her?
Many times. And then a few days later, she would send me a picture of an ultrasound she had at the hospital where she was going.
They were always edited,
Yes.
and she would write on them, but never any identifying information on them.
No.
Shortly after Amy's miscarriage with Ava, she miraculously became pregnant again. Everyone was shocked. Over the process of her pregnancy, she showed us multiple ultrasounds, and once again, there was never any personal information to indicate that they were Amy's. I really became suspicious of Amy when she wasn't getting any bigger. It was absolutely crazy.
She says she got pregnant just 4 weeks after a miscarriage.
Yes.
Amy told me that she went to the hospital because of labor pains. She was suffering a placental abruption. One of the children died instantly, and the other one only lived for 20 to 30 minutes. No one ever saw the bodies. With all the inconsistencies in her story, the family decided to confront her. A few days later, Amy packed her stuff and completely disappeared.
Any baby that is lost after 20 weeks has to be reported.
Yes.
There was conversation with the coroner. There were no fetal deaths matching 33 weeks of gestation in 2016. He goes on to say there were no twins over 20 weeks, period. Then we take photos of the twins Amy sent to her ex-boyfriend's family. Notice the different bedding. The hospital statement regarding the bedding is we use one standard set of bedding. These two babies are not in the same hospital.
No.
It just doesn't make sense.
No.
Even after Amy was caught in all of her lies with her fake pregnancy here, she turned right back around and did the same thing in Florida. A bunch of mothers from a support group contacted me, and we all decided to create the No Friend of Mine scam page. This past spring, one member of our scam group found pictures of Amy on social media with a pregnancy announcement. Of course, with multiples, with a new man. Me and the members of the group immediately took action to find members of his family to warn them.
Apparently at a gender reveal party, he confronts her and says, hey, are you really pregnant? She could have easily gotten a pregnancy test but did not. Amy, please come out and join us. What is your theory about why she is focused on you?
I think Courtney still has a lot of issues in her own life that she hasn't resolved that she needs to self-work on. I mean, it's been almost 2 years now. That's why I'm here today to want to ask what the hell her problem is. Because I'm so pissed. I'm only came here to tell you, you haven't broke me. You can keep pushing all your little buttons, Courtney, and doing what you want. So I'm going to tell you now, keep it up, and it's all going to come back to bite you in the ass.
Well, understand, Amy never confessed to any of this and still denies it. She maintains that she was telling the truth. Now, it took 2 days to sort through Courtney and Amy's accusations, and it culminated with Amy storming off and refusing to answer my questions. So take a look at part 2 of this. Have you said you were pregnant when you weren't?
No.
So when you were having that memorial service and releasing those balloons, that was legitimate?
Correct.
There's no record with the coroner of any twin deaths beyond 20 weeks. Why not?
There's obviously not a report.
Out of everybody in the state of Illinois, don't have to
not.
disclose.
No, I'm not saying I don't have to disclose the fact of dead babies. I mean, I could sit on your stage and I may look like a total ass to you, and that's fine, but I'm gonna be honest, I can't stand Courtney. So I don't feel like I owe Courtney an explanation. I don't feel like I owe the family an explanation, because if I did have to provide an explanation, I still want it. That's 2 years ago. People need to grow up and move the heck on.
Did you send pictures of the children after they were deceased?
Nope, because I don't have pictures of the deceased.
Did you have the babies cremated?
I'm not gonna answer that. I didn't come on the show like to talk about the baby. I didn't come on the show to talk about it.
Listen, I'm trying to clear your name so you don't have to
But
put
the
up with
thing
this
is, I
stuff.
realized going through therapy, I don't need to clear my name. My name's fine with me. I know what's right when I go to sleep at night. I don't owe Courtney an explanation.
You have a foundation? You're raising money?
Recently, I found out that she is starting a non-for-profit organization.
I'm currently part of an organization. I'm working with David, and he's a veteran. I connected with him on Instagram, and we had a long phone conversation about how we were both into helping veterans and helping others with mental health issues. We've been blessed with raising $3,000.
Amy is illegally taking donations. In order to have a non-for-profit group, you have to pass background checks. And Amy's not going to pass a background check.
You can let me out this door right now. First of all, you better get your information straight. You guys falsified. You know what? That's fine, dude. That's fine. I'm telling you right now, Justin.
What falsified?
Falsified my ass. I'm telling you guys right now with your false. I came on this. Do you think for 1 minute you guys are joke? Where's my bag? Down the face. I want my phone and I want to go to the airport. I'm done.
Nobody wants you to.
I'm done.
So, what has happened after Amy's backstage meltdown? Well, a whole lot, including to my staff, because they say they received a text saying Amy was deceased. Now, Courtney claims the drama has not stopped, and she and her teen daughter have now become victims themselves. Take a look.
You want an honest opinion? I can't stand Courtney.
Since Amy and I were with Dr. Phil, I believe that she has been cyberbullying me. In post, I've been accused of making money out of speaking against Amy, been called a horrendous mother, a liar, and a scam artist. There have been several social media accounts that were set up to made to look like they were me. LMAO, anyone who can't carry a baby full term is worthless. And on those fake accounts, there were messages sent and posts being made to make it seem as though I was cyberbullying Amy. If you bury a baby, then obviously she's garbage. These are definitely not my words. I would never say anything so horrible to another human being. At the same time I was being attacked, my 15-year-old daughter was also being attacked on social media. The things that were posted were horrific, disgusting, sexually explicit, calling her promiscuous, which were all lies. My daughter was horrified. There was even a message sent directly to my daughter that said, "This is what your mom gets when she lies. I know you're a slut. You seem to contact everybody. Your daughter will pay." After receiving those messages, I was scared for my daughter. I contacted authorities and filed police reports in order to protect her. Because the post was made towards a minor, this was considered cyberbullying. The sheriff's department did their best to try to get the post taken down, but were unsuccessful. It devastated my daughter. She had a very hard time dealing with the fact that that post still remained up for people to see. My daughter was completely victimized by all of this, and she did not deserve a bit of it.
Well, Courtney, it's good to see you again.
You too.
You say since the show, since she was here, that she has been cyberbullying you and your daughter, correct?
Absolutely.
And you understand she denies that.
Of course
she
does.
tells us that's not true, that's not her, she's not doing that. She allegedly posted that you were paid to come on here and it was in your name.
Yes, it was
It says, I'm Courtney, I lie. I got paid to be on the Dr. Phil show, and I let my daughter, I won't repeat this vulgar comment, just to make the record clear, you didn't get paid to come on this show.
No, I did not
You came
get
here
paid.
on your own free will to
Yes.
talk about something of public concern.
Absolutely. I came here to let the public know of what she is and to warn people about what she's doing to others.
You say that your daughter received a message
Yes.
that said, quote, you will pay for what your mom did.
Yes.
And this was very personal information that only Amy knew about your 15-year-old daughter.
Yes.
Okay, well, next, how a vindictive prank put my staff in the middle of her drama. That's after the break.
I was in a phone conversation with David, a member of the non-for-profit group that Amy was involved with. He received a message claiming that she had killed herself. Tonight at 10:37, Amy successfully committed overdose. May you burn in eternal hell. I didn't believe this for 1 minute.
And later, she conducted her recorded interview over the phone. She even showed up at the airport and texted my staff she was boarding her airplane. So where is Amy? Well, when Amy was last here, she was being accused of faking pregnancies, faking baby deaths, and even sending photos of deceased twins to her friends and family. Now, Amy completely denied everything, completely. Said, not true, absolutely lies, not doing it. Now, after the show aired, we found out some great news about one of those allegedly deceased twins.
When Amy spoke with Dr. Phil, she got caught in lie after lie.
There's no record with the coroner of any twin deaths beyond 20 weeks. Why not?
I don't owe an explanation. Not for this.
One of the biggest lies that she had were her fake photos of the twins that allegedly died.
Did you have the babies cremated?
I'm not going to answer that.
A few weeks later, I came in contact with the mother who actually owned the photo that Amy had sent us as a deceased twin. This mother was shocked when she saw clips from the Dr. Phil episode that showed her daughter being used as a picture of a deceased twin. Come to find out, this woman's child is alive. She was born around 32 weeks and she's perfectly healthy. I find it very disgusting and very disturbing that someone would do something like this.
We actually have a statement from that mother, and it says, I knew Amy strictly through social media. We were friends on Facebook and Instagram. I was watching the episode and realized a picture of my daughter was used on the show as one of Amy's twin babies that had died. The photo of my daughter was in a private album. I believe Amy took my daughter's photo and used it as her own because she was friends with me on social media during this time. My daughter was 34 weeks old in the photo and is alive today and just had her 9th birthday. Here's what she looks like today. Courtney claims that just weeks after Amy denied all accusations and stormed off this stage, she got news that Amy had tragically taken her own life.
Shortly after Amy and I spoke with Dr. Phil, she allegedly faked her own death. It should come as no surprise to me because she's literally faked her own children's deaths. After the taping, I was in a phone conversation with David, a member of the non-for-profit group that Amy was involved with. As I was on the phone with David, he received a message from Amy's cell phone number from a family member claiming that she had killed herself. Tonight at 10:37, Amy successfully committed overdose. Courtney and the Dr. Phil show will be the reason I have to put Amy in the ground. May you burn in eternal hell. I didn't believe this for 1 minute. Because the non-for-profit is so serious about suicide prevention, they decided to call the local law enforcement in Amy's county to do a wellness check on her. They found Amy perfectly alive at her house. After they realized that Amy was alive, they ran her information and found out that she had an outstanding warrant in a nearby county, and then placed her under arrest. The drama that revolves around Amy is like a bad, made-for-TV movie.
Okay, so Amy, thankfully, was not dead. Don't wish that on anybody.
No.
Somebody claimed she was.
Yes.
And claimed we were all responsible for that. And there's a text regarding her alleged suicide. It says, tonight at 10:37 p.m., Amy successfully committed overdoses. You, Courtney, and the Dr. Phil show will be the reason. Amy in the ground. May you burn in eternal hell. Don't call the cops to show up at my house. Then a member of the Dr. Phil staff here received this message. You and your show made Amy try to kill herself tonight. Leave us alone, you blank fools. Amy is on a respirator because of you. Do not contact us. You and the show are a joke. And the supervisor that handles that is Justin. When this message came in that Amy's on a respirator, Amy's killed herself, it's all your fault, what did the staff member come and say to you?
And she ran in almost in tears into my office. I mean, I haven't ever seen her like that. And I said, what's wrong? Then she showed me that text message. And so we immediately called David, who received the other text message, and he said, oh, you can calm down. I sent someone to do a wellness check, and she's fine, but she did get arrested. So,
yeah. Now David is the person that she was doing the fundraising.
Yes, that was one of her partners in the nonprofit.
For the veterans, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And suicide was a huge cause for them, so that even rattled them to their core as well. I mean, that was scary for them.
Yeah. So we decided to start checking on this. They decided to start checking on this. And, oh, by the way, at the same time, Amy's Instagram profile changed to RIP, hate helps suicide. And Amy was arrested on a warrant for theft when the wellness check took place, correct?
Yes, she was.
Well, here's the police report. Upon placing Amy into my back seat, she became violent and kicking the partition. A hobble restraint was placed around her ankles. Amy then removed the hobble restraint but remained calm. Rescue 46 arrived. Amy began shouting profanities at them, denying medical services. Next, Amy made the local news after yet another allegation against her was made public. Find out what she said to reporters after the break.
After the program aired, I received several messages from different people saying that Amy had scammed them as well. Dr. Phil did tell me to let it go. But me and the rest of the No Friend of Mine scam group don't want to watch another victim go through what we have went through. They need to know what Amy has done or is capable of doing. The non-for-profit group that Amy was involved with trusted Amy in helping them raise funds.
We've been blessed with raising $3,000 so far for the org.
Amy said in her own words on the show that she had received donations.
A local woman accused of faking pregnancies and keeping money intended for veterans is telling her story.
After the program aired, Amy set up an interview with a local news channel.
I asked Amy about the money.
Did you collect money before it was approved?
No.
They'd asked her point blank, and she stated no, which was a complete contradiction of what she had said in front of Dr. Phil.
I also spoke with David Smith, the president of the organization. He says he never saw any of the money.
We believed in her and believed everything she told us, and it all turned out to be a lie.
Well, we actually have a statement from the nonprofit, and it reads, as of October 23, 2017, Amy was relieved of her duties as Director of Business Development after misfortunate facts of her came to light in the national spotlight. That would be here, I guess. Amy claims to have solicited donation funds under our organization's name. The organization never saw any of the money, nor received any receipts for said donations. We apologize for any pain or damage Amy has caused anyone. Again, she denies all of this. Now, so where is Amy? Well, when we decided to do this follow-up, she said, yes, I'm going to come. We invited her to come to the show again, and she agreed. She conducted her recorded interview over the phone. She even showed up at the airport and texted my staff she was boarding her airplane. So, Justin, what happened then?
She changed her flight and flew somewhere else.
On our ticket?
Yes, we paid for a trip to a said location.
She went to the airport, text, I'm here.
Communicated all morning. She said, I boarded the plane, so just something clicked, and I said, you should probably, let's just check, because you never know. We called and said, oh yeah, no, she got on the plane, but it's not to Los Angeles. She went up to the counter and changed her flight.
So up until she got on that plane, she's telling you she's coming here.
Yeah, very receptive, answered our calls, did everything she needed to do. No problems.
Then she texted producers saying she was sorry, but she had too much anxiety about coming back. Now, we've reached out to Amy several times since, but we've not received a response. That ever happened to you before?
Not in 16 years.
Not in 16 years. Okay. So that's not an allegation. You know that to be true.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact. Okay, now, let me talk to you for a second.
Okay.
When you were here before, I said, I totally get where you're coming from. You have someone that you know, and you feel like you needed to pop up and say, hey, by the way, if anybody's interested, I strongly believe this woman will lie about pregnancies and leverage men and try to do things, and I feel like I should say something about it, and you did. I said, I think it's time for you to stop short of being obsessed and move on with your life and get on. And you said, okay, but you didn't do that.
I didn't. And here's part of it. After the show aired, I had, hundreds of messages. And then everything, I think, happened also with my daughter and me being attacked on social media. And I kind of went on the defensive because we were really close friends. She said when she was pregnant, she had cancer, and she talked about how, if she died before she gave birth or died during birth, that she wanted me to help raise her kids with the father. Like, that those were horrible things to lie about. I don't want to see anybody else go through that.
You don't want to get to the point that this scar becomes your identity.
Absolutely.
And we're going to talk next about someone that really got victimized by being 14, being very vulnerable, very naive, and giving someone on the internet the benefit of the doubt and not knowing who they were talking about. It's a story every parent needs to hear. So listen with both ears after the break.
At first, started off with pictures of me in my underwear, and then it escalated to full-on pictures of me being nude. The FBI told me that they knew that there's 8 other victims.
Closed captioning provided by Katie was only 14 years old when she was blackmailed by a man, Mark, who she met on a popular social media app. Now, over the course of 4 months, this man threatened and manipulated her into sending him over 1,000 nude photos and videos of herself. Now, when Katie begged to stop sending them, she says this man threatened to rape her, post the photos online, and print them out to leave them at her neighbor's front door. Take a look.
I would have never thought in a million years I would be a victim of sextortion. It all started when I was 14. I met a girl named Erin on an instant messaging app. She was around my age, around 15, 16 years old. At that time, I really had no friends and I was really desperate. At first, it started off with normal conversations. Then Erin said if I sent her pictures of me in my underwear, she would send me gift cards to my favorite stores. Then it escalated to full-on pictures of me being nude and videos. I thought it was very strange, but I kept doing it because I was really desperate. I sent over 1,000 pictures and 20 videos. It completely spiraled out of control. She kept harassing me and I had no idea how to stop it. I hated myself and I was very depressed. I started cutting like every single week. I sent her a picture of my arm begging her to stop. She said she was sorry, but she needed more pictures. She would threaten to come to my house and post pictures on my door and my neighbors with all my personal information on it. I ended up trying to commit suicide because of what she was doing to me. The day I finally had the courage to block her, I received a message on the same app from a guy named Mark with my nude pictures and personal information. And he soon started using Erin's tactics, demanding more and more pictures. I sent almost 500 pictures to him and a couple videos to him. I felt extremely trapped. I felt like it was the end for me.
Well, Katie's secret was finally revealed, but only when the FBI made a shocking visit to her home.
A year after I finally blocked Mark and Erin, the FBI came to my house. The FBI told me that apparently Mark was doing this to other girls and they called the police. The FBI found him. They also found my pictures and all my personal information, and they knew immediately who I was. On top of all that, they told me that Mark and Erin were the same exact person the entire time.
As I was listening in, I was utterly shocked. I just wanted to throw up. Because of this, she self-harmed, tried to commit suicide, and has even overdosed.
I feel like I can't do anything right. I will never fully get over what happened to me.
Words are very powerful. And the last thing you said on that tape is, I will never get over this.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right as long as you keep telling yourself that. So we're going to talk about that as we go along. I just couldn't let that slide before we get along.
Okay.
Okay. Now, good to meet you guys.
You too.
All right, back to that. Did you have any clue at the time?
Absolutely none.
None?
This
What?
was like just off the radar.
1,000 pictures, 20 videos. Where did you think she was? What did you think she was doing?
Well, it should be, most of this happened in her, in her bedroom. When he would call or text her, I'll give you 10 minutes, you gotta send me 25 pictures with a big smile on your face. She would be, go up to her room, go into the bathroom. And so, yeah.
You never looked at her phone, and you never conceived that she would do something like this because it wasn't part of her character otherwise.
Oh, no.
This person that you were sending the photos to, we now know this was a man. At the time, you thought it was a girl about your age.
Yeah, sadly.
Okay, and you said she, Erin, would flip out if you sent photos in the same pose, right?
Yes.
What did you think when you heard that?
I thought she was crazy.
And you kept taking and sending the pictures. Why?
Because then I felt trapped and I didn't really know what to do.
What made you send the first picture?
I really wanted to have a friend, a female friend that I could really trust. And I thought I could trust her, even though I never met her.
We're going to take a break. Is there something in particular that made Katie vulnerable to a dangerous online predator? We'll be right back. Close caption. Katie was only 14 years old when she fell prey to a dangerous online predator, but she's still struggling. So I've called in some reinforcements to help me here. Now, Mike Bayer is a very dear friend of mine. He's a life coach who is beloved by his clients. Coach Mike focuses on helping his clients break free of their destructive patterns. Now, I asked Coach Mike to sit down with Katie yesterday to learn what may have led Katie to being in this situation and made her so vulnerable to this online predator. Let's take a look at the conversation they had.
My name is Mike Bayer. I'm a coach, and what I do is I help people find the freedom to be a better version of themselves. Usually traumatic events cause us to tell stories, and they hold us back. And I know you've had quite a few events that have happened. When do you think you were the happiest?
Honestly, probably this time, like this year, being 19.
How about during your childhood?
I was never really happy during my childhood.
Do you know where that comes from?
Not really having any friends. I was a weird, boring girl who really wanted friends. I was never really proud of myself. Because ever since I was a little girl, I've always had a little weight to me, and I always saw everyone else as really skinny and really pretty. I never really saw myself as one of those girls.
What are you feeling right now?
That I'm a huge letdown.
How would you describe your online person versus real life person?
In real life, I would just always kind of be quiet, and online, I would just I could be sincere. They would accept me for who I was, and it felt amazing.
There's a version of yourself that was going on the internet that was authentic to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was you in school,
Mm-hmm.
which wasn't authentic to you, that cared too much about what people thought about you. And what I'm trying to tap into is if you can be the same person all the time. Give me 5 things that you do love about yourself.
I love that I love to clean. I love that I have a passion to help people. I really can't think of it.
It's okay, you have 2. So we start with 2, then we get to 3. You deserve love. I like you and I just met you.
Thank you.
In looking back, if you were talking to a 14-year-old girl that was on the internet right now, and somebody on the other end was saying, hey, send me some nude photos, what would you say to her?
Do not do that.
Why?
Because you don't know what they can do with it. You don't know how far it can go.
What did you come away thinking after you talked to her?
I felt like she had secrets, and I felt like those secrets are what's driving a lot of her pain.
It's very true.
Well, I have some questions for Katie, right along the lines of what Mike is talking about. Tell you what we think after the break. Mike says his sense from talking to you the other day is that you are burdened by a secret or secrets.
Well, it's not really a secret anymore, but that Mark was the main reason I felt a lot of this doubt in myself.
But you didn't feel good about you before you did that.
Yeah.
Were you aware that she had such self-esteem issues?
I was. I didn't know the depths of them. I failed her in as I thought, this is just like normal teenage behavior.
At 19, Mike says, tell me 5 good things about you. She struggled to get 2.
I know, that broke my heart.
I wrote some things down that you have said, and I wrote them down for you to see. This is your internal dialogue of just what you've said since you got out here. And you say to yourself that you are weird. You say to yourself that you are boring. You feel that you are desperate. You are lonely, and something has happened to you, and you're never going to get over it. Now, if that's your internal dialogue, tell me what the outcome is.
Nothing positive.
So you're programming yourself for failure. So if you don't change that, you're not going to change this. That's what's called cognitive behavior therapy. Cognitive behavior therapy is just a therapy where thoughts are treated as behaviors. You can change them. You have to change your internal dialogue. What was the first thing I said when you guys came out here? I said, words are powerful. And the first thing I said is, you finished your tape piece by saying, I'm never going to get over this. As long as you tell yourself that, you never will. You can get over this. I don't ever want you to forget it, but I want you to forgive yourself for the mistakes that you've made. I want you to choose a different internal dialogue, and I'm going to get you some help to do that.
Thank you. I think that would be amazing. Thank you.
Are you worthy of that? Are you worthy of the time and attention you're getting right now?
Yes.
Because there could be 10,000 other people sitting in this chair right now.
Yeah.
Are you worthy of being here?
Yes.
Are you worthy of the help that I'm offering you?
Yes.
Are you worthy of the attention you got from him?
Yes.
You've got to name it to claim it. If you name it, then you can claim your right to have this help, your right to change your life. Okay? Deal? Next, a member of our studio audience has a question so important that the answer may change his life forever. That's after the break. Closed captioning provided by... I'm told my biggest fan is here today from Phoenix somewhere. Do I have a big fan here from Phoenix? Oh, is it you? Your friend told me, you're not my biggest fan? Do you watch the show? Every day. Yeah? Well, come up here and I'll take a picture with you since you're my friend. Well, you can step up here. So, all right, did you come by yourself?
No, it's my boyfriend, my best friend, and her husband.
Okay, well, boyfriend, you can come. I'm not going to bring the whole crowd. But, all right, you can come. What's your name?
Matt.
Matt, how are you? What's your name?
Jenny.
Jenny, good to meet you.
You too.
All right, let's take a picture here. Turn around. All right, we got a picture. So do you watch too?
I've never watched in my life until it was... Until, you know, it would always be on. And then every once in a while I'd be like, this guy actually knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I converted
So you have a question for me?
Actually, I did. I knew she'd be too chicken to ask you a question.
All right.
But the question's actually really for her.
All right. I assume the answer was yes?
Yes.
Okay, we need to get a close-up on this. Wow, now you did good, Matt. Well, I confess Matt asked me to do this, so we've been in on this the whole time, okay?
Thank you. Oh, my God.
All right, we did good, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks so much. All right.